Good afternoon, crafters. Hopefully we are live and you can hear me and everything's working all okay. Let me just turn this screen down. There we go. Perfect. Right, fingers crossed you can all hear me. Please do send me some comments on Facebook, send me some comments on YouTube as well. Let me know if you are watching ready for our brand new Gilded Christmas launch today, which is super exciting. I can see that lots of you are tuning in already, so let me just have a little look, see who's watching. So hello, we've got Beverly, Aisha, Haley, hello. Joanna's made it home, yay. We've got Barbara, we've got Sally, we have got Selma. Thank you so much for joining me so far. I'm going to give us just another couple of minutes just for everyone to start and join us. I've got my phone with me so I can keep a little eye on your comments. Let me just have a little check-in and have a little look on YouTube as well. Let me just have a little look. There we go. Oh my word, there are lots watching on YouTube. Hello to Shirley, who's watching from Adelaide in Australia. Hello to Julie. Hello to Denise. Hello, Donna. My word, there are lots of you tuning in today. Thank you so much for all joining me. And who else have we got? Let me just have a look. We've got Amy, we've got Sue, Donna. Oh my word, there are so many of you. Okay then, so today is going to be all about the Gilded Christmas collection. Now, if you've maybe already been online this morning, you might have seen there's been a little sneak peek that went up on YouTube this morning. Well, it wasn't a sneak peek, it was the unboxing video. So that went up at 9 o'clock this morning. We always like to put the unboxing up a little bit earlier, just because then it gives us time to kind of get everything prepped and ready to go. So that went up at 9 o'clock. So I know that lots of you have watched this already. Lots of you will have seen the sneak peeks on social media as well. And we've got loads more kind of content going up with this collection this week. So if you are new to Chloe's Creative Cards, we always go big at Christmas, okay? So Christmas is my favourite time of the year. I absolutely love it. And our Christmas collections are something that you are going to use for years to come. You are going to keep going back to them. They're always timeless and just beautiful. And we always have a theme for the Christmas collections. So this year's theme is Gilded Christmas. So the idea behind that is it's all about luxurious foiling and a gold and silver colour palette, which you'll see is all pulled together by the beautiful paper pad. The designs in this year's range are really elegant. We've got some beautiful embossing folders, so they are going to be perfect for doing some quicker cards, but we're going to show you how you can take those to the next level as well. We've got some fabulous new dies, we've got 2 new glitters, we've got new stamps, we've got vellum, we've got all sorts. It really is a fabulous Christmas collection. So I'm going to take you along with me. Let me grab my little, oh, I don't want to knock everything over. Grab my little buttons so that I can change the camera. So are you ready to have a look at Gilded Christmas? Now this year, I have to tell you, it is a little bit different because there are 2 bundles. So we've got the main I Need It All bundle, and then we've also got a smaller bundle where you get 2 8x8 dies and 2 8x8 embossing folders. And we've split those out because maybe not everyone's got an A4 die cutting machine, so not everyone might want to go for that one. So I'm going to pop the camera in so that we can have a little look and we'll have a little wander along. I've still got the comments going on my phone. I can see we've got Tracy watching from Australia as well. Hello. Okay, this is the collection. It is huge. We have got lots and lots of goodies in here. It was actually really hard to fit it all in to the camera. So I'm going to take you along the top row first. Hopefully I'm not going to knock it over because I am slightly concerned about that, but we'll worry about that later, it'll be fine. So we're going to start here. We have got the lovely Hanging Baubles 3D embossing folder and metal die set. So this is fantastic. You've got that lovely bauble design and you have got the dies to cut the baubles out. I'm going to do a really quick run through here and then we're going to go back to the counter and I'm going to go through more in depth on my craft mat with the fully boxed up collection. We've then got the lovely Christmas tree, 3D embossing folder and metal die set, and you are going to love this one. You might recognise this design before. We've done it as a stamp, but I thought it would look amazing as a 3D embossing folder. So wait till you see that one in action. We then know that you loved the Flower Builder collection back in, oh my word, it feels like forever ago, back in January this year. So we knew that concept would work really well for Christmas. So we've got a brand new Christmas rose. 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set, and we've also got a beautiful poinsettia design as well. And again, you will get in the 3D embossing folder, the coordinating dies and stamps with those. If we then move down to here, we knew that you'd need the little vellum pad to cut those beautiful flowers out, to colour them. So we have got a gorgeous printed vellum pad. So same concept as Flower Builder from earlier in the year. So you can use that vellum in the embossing folder, you can use it with the dies, or you can stamp onto it as well. And within here, you've got beautiful colours. We've got pinks, we've got fresh colours, we've got the reds for the poinsettias. But again, I'll show you that in close-up detail. We did actually kind of listen to your feedback as well. I've got no idea why that camera's just moved. It's obviously something I've done with my hand there. But this one, we've listened to your feedback and we've added in some extra bleed around the edge of the flowers. So if your vellum moves in the embossing folder or you don't quite get the die lined up perfectly, you're not going to get a white edge. It's going to fill that gap for you. I'm just going to pop the camera back just to the right angle. There we go. So we've then got, moving down, we've got the Gilded Baubles stamp and die set. That is beautiful. So elegant, really lovely. We've then got one of the little Christmas verses, which is A7, perfect for the front or the inside of your cards. We've got the gorgeous floral Merry Christmas, which is fantastic for creating a real showstopper in the middle of your projects. You can build your flowers up around this. You can do this one in lots of different ways. We've then got the Shooting Star stamp and die set as well, which is beautiful. And you've got the die to cut the star out. You can layer that one up. Lovely for your quick cards, but you can take it to the next level as well. This one, I think you are all going to love. And I'll be honest, we've not got as much stock of this one as everything else. So if you want this one, definitely get it in your basket. This one is the Gilded Wreath stamp and die set, and it's A5 in size. So what that means is it's really going to fill your projects, and I'll show you that when we get to the max. I've got some fabulous finished samples to show you too. We have then, moving down the front, we've got a brand new 8x8 die set, which is the Gilded Squares. We also have the Gilded Rectangles as well. I don't think you can quite see that in shot. We've got the two new 8x8 embossing folders. We've got the Christmas trees, and we've got the sparkling stars. We've then got two new Sparklicious glitters. We've got Moonbeam and Starshine, which are beautiful. They're kind of like a frosty white glitter, but with a little bit of that silver in, like Diamanty Sparkle and Glass Slipper. Absolutely beautiful. We've then got this gorgeous foiled paper pad, and I'm going to show you the designs for this one up close. It is stunning. You've got neutral backgrounds with gold and silver foil over the top. Beautiful. You're going to absolutely love using that one. And then finally, I've popped the little inspiration sheet in that you will get with your order. So that is the full collection, but like I say, it is split out into two bundles, and I'm going to explain that now. So we will go back to the craft mat. Let me pop the overhead camera in. There we go. Okay, so we can get started. I can see your comments as well. Thank you for joining me. So I'm going to grab this box in to start with. I'm going to move this Gemini out the way because we don't really need that yet, do we? Okay then. So let's open up the box and have a look. So what I'm showing you now is what is contained within the I Need It All collection. So this will be on sale from 6 p.m. this evening at chloescreativecards.co.uk. Okay, let's open this together and have a little look. Here we go. Right, so this is jam-packed full of goodies. So to start with, I'm going to show you the 3D embossing folders first because these are gorgeous. So to start with, we've got the Christmas Rose 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. So this is going to be fantastic for creating those gorgeous floral elements on your projects. You've got that beautiful 3D embossing in the background as well with the holly leaves and the swirls. Really, really pretty. You've got some extra little dies on here too. This little swirl, let me grab it because I've got a die cut one earlier to show you. There it is. The little swirl, look. Done two and they've got stuck together. There we go. You get the idea. There we go. Look at how beautiful and fine that is when it's cut out. So that's your Christmas Rose 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. I'm going to show you the 3D embossing folder as well. So I did it on silver mirror card, but I don't know, well, matte mirror. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera, but it is an absolutely gorgeous design. So I've also done it on some white card as well, because I think the white card really pops sometimes. It's really nice and clean and crisp and elegant. You can see how gorgeous that is. So that's your 3D embossing folder. You also get the stamps in the set and you get the dies as well. So you're going to be able to use the dies to cut out the flowers from the embossing folder or to cut out the flower stamps too. So that one's your Christmas rose. Next up, we have got the poinsettia design, which is this one here. So again, you've got your beautiful 3D embossing folder. You've then got your stamp set that coordinates, and you've got your dies as well. So you can use those dies to cut out the stamps or also to cut out the 3D embossing folder as well. And if I show you this one embossed, oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. So here it is on some matte mirror. So that's on gold matte mirror. Look at that. A really nice traditional image. But if you want to make it more contemporary, you can do as well. And then this is it on white card. I mean, just look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I want to show you these in action as well as we go. So let me grab my finished card samples in. I've got a couple for each. I thought we'd have a little look through as we go. So this one here is the Christmas rose, and you can see the depth and the dimension that we've got built up on there. Using your Sparklicious glitters, using that vellum as well, and your heat resistant acetate, looks beautiful. Another one here with that Christmas rose design, really, really pretty, adding the swirls in the background, glittering them up, glittering the holly leaves as well. We've also got one here with the gorgeous poinsettia. So you can see that one there. This is one of Christine, so it's all done in pink there, which again is from the lovely vellum pad. So you can see how fabulous that looks. But look at the detail that you've got in the embossing. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then we've got one of Becca's here. She's done it in more traditional colours, using kind of the reds and golds and a little bit of gilding wax on there. It looks fabulous. So that's your poinsettia and Christmas rose, 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. Next up, this one. This is one of my favourites. I love this one. This is the Christmas tree. 3D embossing folder and metal die set. So you just get the embossing folder and the metal die in here. And this, are you ready for this? This is why I thought it would work so well as a 3D embossing folder, because look at this one. When it's embossed, oh my word, it is beautiful. You've got all of that depth and dimension on the tree. We've got the little stars in the background as well. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. I think this one's probably my favourite. And then we've got one on white as well, and you can see how pretty that one looks too. So that is your Christmas tree, 3D embossing folder and metal die set. And I've got another couple of cards to show you with this one. So that one is fantastic for creating quick and easy cards like this one, okay? So you can see that one there. You can just emboss it on your white card, cut the Christmas tree out and add some jewels onto there, and it will look fabulous. But if you want to take it to the next level, look at this one that Christine's done. And she's blinged that tree up with some glitter, added some pearls and jewels on there, and doesn't it look fabulous? So again, for all it's 5x7 in size, you can scale it up to your larger projects as well. So that one is your Christmas tree, 3D embossing folder and metal die set. Okay, next up, we have got the beautiful hanging baubles. And this is the 3D embossing folder and die set again. So you've got that lovely embossing folder design, which looks like this when it's embossed. That's on your matte mirror, or like this on your white card. Really pretty. And then you've got the little metal dies that coordinate to cut these baubles out. So for this one, this looks fabulous if you do it as kind of a larger project, or for your smaller 5x7s or 6x8s, it looks fab too. So that's your hanging baubles, 3D embossing folder and metal die set. And if I grab the finished card samples in for these ones, again, you can take this, so it's quite simple, just using that embossing folder, cutting the baubles out, adding a little bit of gilding wax on there, making the 5x7 card with this. Or if you'd rather, you can scale it up and make it into an 8x8 as well, which looks fabulous. So that one is your hanging baubles, 3D embossing folder and metal die set. I can see that lots of you are leaving comments on Facebook as well. Thank you so, so much. I'm pleased to hear you are loving this one. So next up, we've got the Floral Merry Christmas metal die set. And let me open this up because it's a big die. So I'm going to open this one to show you. There we go. So you can see the size of the metal that you've got here. So you've got that lovely large floral Merry Christmas in the middle. So you've got the Merry Christmas going across the centre, and then you've got some foliage, some little leaves, flowers, things like that, kind of framing it too. But then we've also separated out Merry Christmas. So that means you can die cut that from like your mirror card or a different colour maybe and just overlay it over the top. So for quick and easy Christmas cards, this one is fabulous. Die cut it out of your mirror card or your matte mirror card, stick it onto a double-sided adhesive sheet and cover the background in glitter. It looks fabulous. And I'm going to show you that now. So let me pop that one to one side and grab my finished card samples in for this one. So we've got this one here. This is one of Christine's, all done in gold and silver. So you can see how she's die cut it out from the crystal white pearl card. Then she's die cut another one from gold and overlaid it and infilled some of the little pieces of the flowers and the leaves. And then of course she's covered the background with some sparklicious glitter as well. And you can see how pretty that one looks. Then this one is one of Becca's, using that Merry Christmas. Again, die cutting it from the matte mirror in the middle, looks fab. She's then glittered the little flowers, but then if I tilt this one, can you see how she's stuck a few Merry Christmases together? So it then gives you like this raised 3D Merry Christmas in the middle. So it's nice and tactile, it looks fabulous. But again, if you're posting, you can still keep it quite flat if you want to. So that's your Floral Merry Christmas metal die set. And then next up, this is the one that I think you've all been loving on the little sneak peeks. So this one is called Gilded Wreath. So the idea behind this is I wanted a massive wreath stamp to go in the middle of an 8x8 card basically, because we've done wreaths in the past which have been beautiful, but I think sometimes you need something a little bit larger. But obviously when you start to go larger and you bring in a metal die into that, it then kind of makes it a little bit more expensive than what the smaller wreaths are. But I think this one's 100% worth it. So this is the Gilded Wreath, and this is your stamp and die set. So it's a huge A5 stamp set. So you've got that lovely large wreath in the middle, and we've left it quite plain. So yes, you've got your berries and your little fir leaves on there, but you can decorate it up. So you can add your jewels onto here. You can add your glitters onto here as well. We've added a merry and bright sentiment to the middle as a separate stamp. And then you've got these little elements that you can use to kind of embellish your wreath. So we've got 4 little baubles, and you've got the dies that cut the baubles out along with the die to cut the wreath out. You've got the bow, which I love, and you've also got the die to cut that one out. And we've also got the little holly leaves as well, and you've got the die to cut that out. And then you've got like these snowflakes and sprigs that you can use to stamp your backgrounds with too. So that's your Gilded Wreath stamp and die set. So that one is looking like this. And this is gorgeous. Again, you can use it on your large projects. It's going to work for your smaller cards as well, but it really gives you a statement piece in the centre of your project, which I think sometimes is nice because it makes it a bit easier to make the card then. So that's your Gilded Wreath. I'm going to show you some finished card samples with this one. So a little confession on here, don't look too closely at the bows because I did mine before we had the sample of the die, and this is it here. Okay, so when you build that up, stamped and embossed in your wow powders, this one has been done in mercury glass. You can see how pretty that looks. We've got that merry and bright sentiment in the middle. I've added some glitter onto there too, and some little jewels as well. And you can see how pretty that then looks. So that's your Gilded Wreath. And then Christine's also done this one on an 8x8 card, but she's really gone to town. So she's stamped some of the little branches onto some acetate, embossed them, and then cut them out and added some extra layers into the wreath. And then she's also used the little Christmas rose as well, which I think looks gorgeous at the bottom. So that is your Gilded Wreath stamp and die set. Okay, next up we have got, do I show paper pad next? Let's go paper pad. So we have got the Gilded Christmas 8x8 paper pad. So this is 48 sheets. You've got 16 designs, 3 sheets of each. I'm going to do a quick flick through like this, but I've got one of each sheet to show you because I think that's better than trying to flick through like this. Okay, so you can see the kind of designs that you've got in there. And then if I grab in, where's my little pile of papers gone? These are the designs that you have got. So we've got this one here, which is that lovely swirly holly design, and that's foiled in gold. We've got the lovely stag, and that one's foiled in silver. We've got the Merry Christmas text, and that's foiled in silver. And these have all got like a hint of a colour in the background as well. So they've all got like a nice neutral printed background. We've then got this one here, which is the beautiful reindeers, foiled in gold, and you've got the little snowflakes on there as well. Really pretty. We've got this one here. I love these type of papers. This kind of distressed foil. Love using that instead of mirror card on my projects. It's just a little bit more subtle, but really pretty. We've then got the Merry Christmas again, but foiled in gold. Okay. And then we've got a foliage one, again on a neutral, but foiled in gold. We've got a lovely silver one with the little snowflakes foiled in silver. We've got stars foiled in silver with that pretty printed background, so it almost looks like lights in the background. Gorgeous. So we've got that in gold and silver. Really pretty. We've then got snowflakes, which is gorgeous. We've got the Christmas trees in gold. We've got the beaded snowflakes in silver. We've got the little kind of stags, little reindeers and the trees in silver. We've got a gorgeous other distressed one, but in gold this time. And then we've also got this lovely silver one here, which is like a textured stripe. Absolutely beautiful. So that's your Gilded Christmas paper pad. So you're also going to get that in your I Need It All. I mean, this is a whopping collection, I have to say. We've then got two new little A7 sentiment stamps, and you can see how pretty these ones are. So these are going to be great for using on the front of your card or on the inside as well. So we've got Christmas Spirit, which reads, "May the wonderful spirit of Christmas remain throughout the year to warm your heart with kindness and fill your life with cheer. Merry Christmas." And we've kept the Merry Christmas separate to the verse, so you can use them independently as well. And then we've got Christmas Moments, which is, "May your Christmas hold many happy memories with those you love, and your new year bring you health and happiness. Happy Christmas." And again, we've got the Happy Christmas separate to the verse, so you can use them independently too. So those are your two sentiment stamps. We've then got the vellum that's going to coordinate with the Christmas rose and the poinsettia 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set, and these are gorgeous. So again, we've added extra bleed on here, and I'll explain that in my first demo to make these a little bit easier to use. But you've got lots of different colours in here. We've kind of looked at Christmas roses and different colours that they can come in throughout the year. So we've kind of tried to replicate that, along with adding some kind of trendier ones in to go with the collection. So we've got like a gold and silver tone in the poinsettia and the Christmas rose. Then you've got your traditional red poinsettia, your traditional green for your leaves, sorry. I nearly said traditional pink there. I mean, you do get pink poinsettias though. Absolutely gorgeous. So we've got the pink in there too. And then we've got the cream and kind of green Christmas rose. And then we've got the pinky purple ones as well. Really, really pretty. So that's going to be fabulous for using with your 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. And if I grab in some finished cards, these will show you kind of the colours that you've got in there. Now the colours may vary very slightly from what I'm showing you. If anything, they'll be a little bit brighter in your pad because ours have been made using the sample ones that we had. So that's your poinsettia there. We've got the Christmas rose design as well. Another poinsettia and another poinsettia there too. So you can see how pretty they are, and the different colours that you're getting in that pad going to be really lovely to use. Okay, next up we've got two stamp and die sets. So we've got the beautiful gilded baubles, and these are stunning. So again, you've got your DL stamp plate in here, and you've got the coordinating dies. And with this one, you've got the most beautiful Christmas wishes die, which you'll have seen we've used on lots of the finished card samples. If I open this one up, this is your die set here. You've got the little bows to go on top of your baubles as well. And then this is your stamp set. So it's a nice DL size. So it's nice and large. Okay, so that's your gilded baubles. Ooh, stamp and die set. You get that one back in the packet. It's Try to Escape. And I'll show you some of the things that you can create with this one. So this is the one that I did for the packaging. Let me sort the bows out, 2 seconds. Need to get the full effect. It's got a little bit squashed in my card holder. Here we go. There we go. Okay. These are our little bows, look. Look at the baubles, that Christmas wishes at the bottom as well. Looks beautiful. But if you want to scale it up, you can do as well. You can do this so a bit larger on your 8x8 projects too. And you've got this little stamp to create the chains in the background. Really pretty. That Christmas wishes die is stunning. So the colour theme for this collection, I wanted all the card samples in gold and silver. So that's why you're noticing a theme. But you can make them in different colours as well. So I've got one here that Becca's done all in the reds, and you can see how beautiful that is. Layering up those baubles, adding the poinsettias, adding that Christmas wishes as well. It looks fabulous. So that's your Gilded Baubles stamp and die set. Next up, we're nearly through the I Need It All. Next up, we've got the lovely Shooting Star stamp and die set. And again, this is a really nice large image. It's absolutely gorgeous, the star. If you've maybe had like our snowflake flurry before in the past and loved that, you are going to love this one. Brilliant for just stamping on your card, glittering up and adding kind of 3D, making that star 3D, kind of decoupaging it up. Adding that little Christmas tree with the sentiment on as well. So you've got the lovely main star image. You've then got some little stars that you can use to stamp in the background. And you've also got the Wish Upon a Star This Christmas sentiment, which is gorgeous. So this one made up, you can do in lots of different ways. So we've got this one here, which you can see, it's just a smaller card, and I've just stamped it, added some little crystals, of course I have, onto that little trail there, and then added some glitter as well, and added my sentiment and used the star in the background. But then like this one here, you can see we've got 2 stamped going round the sentiment, so you can make it into a larger project as well, which works really, really well. So that is your Shooting Star stamp and die set. Okay, and then finally we've got 2 new Sparklicious glitters. So we have got Moonbeam and Starshine. So Moonbeam is the slightly chunkier one. Really hard to show glitter, but this is like a frosty kind of white glitter, but it's got like some silver flecks in, a little bit like the Diamante Sparkle kind of flecks. Really pretty, so that nice sparkly colour, but it's got a much more frosty finish. So that's Moonbeam. And then we've also got Starshine as well, which is the same colour, but the finer version. You can see, can we see the sparkle? Oh, wrong way, there we go. Ooh, there we go. Can we see the sparkle there in the pot? Really, really pretty. So that one is a Starshine, and we've also got Moonbeam as well. So those are the 2 new glitters. So in the main I Need It All collection, you are going to receive the 8x8 foiled paper pad, the Gilded Wreath stamp and die set. You are also going to get your Shooting Star stamp and die set, your Gilded Baubles stamp and die set, your printed vellum pad for your flowers, and your 2 A7 verse stamps. You're going to get your 2 glitters, so Moonbeam and Starshine. You can go in there. We've then got the Floral Merry Christmas metal die set. We've got the Hanging Baubles 3D embossing folder and metal die set. We've got the Christmas Tree 3D embossing folder and metal die set. We've got the Poinsettia 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. And we've got the Christmas Rose 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. So that is your I Need It All collection. You will also, whether you order the I Need It All or place an order for some of these items, because everything is available individually too. So if you don't want to go for the bundle, they will all be listed individually on the website. But as always, I'm just going to give you the bundle pricing today on the Facebook Live, and then the individuals will all be on the website from 6 p.m. this evening. So you will also get your little inspiration sheets. You've got some finished card samples on the front, and then you've got a little project on the back. and you've also got the QR code, so you can scan this code with your phone. It'll take you to our YouTube channel, and we've got a Gilded Christmas playlist on there, so you'll be able to watch today's video back, and you'll also be able to watch the tutorials that I've got coming up on YouTube. So I'm just going to move these cards out the way just so that I've got a little bit more space here. So there we go. So that is your I Need It All collection. Okay, it is a lot. There are 14 items in that set. So let me pop the graphic in for this one. I think it's this graphic here, okay? So if you bought everything individually, it would be £211.86. The bundle price is £169, okay? And that will be available on our website from 6 p.m. this evening. Now, like I say, everything is available individually too. So you don't need to go for the full collection if you don't want to. You can just go for you can pick and choose the elements that you would like as well if you would like to. So that is your I Need It All collection. So that's going to get you the embossing folders, the stamps, the dies, the papers, the glitters, and if you wanted to as well, I would even be tempted to add an extra paper pad in, because with the foiled paper pads, as these take a lot longer to produce, the foiled paper pads, we've got the one set amount of stock for that this Christmas, and once it's gone, it won't be restocked this year. So if you want to, you can add extras in as well. So that is your I Need It All collection, okay? But not only have we got this one, we have got an extra little bundle that you might want to add on. So some of you have probably been noticing that we've got some really pretty squares and really pretty rectangles in the background of our projects, okay? Well, that is where the next set comes in. So I'm going to leave that graphic in just while I kind of sort myself out here, because I've got a lot going on underneath this counter, I have to say. So let me just shuffle these along, try and get a bit organised. It's a good job we've got a double counter now in here, I have to say. So let me pop these in. Okay. So I'm going to take that out. Let me just have a little look at your comments. Oh my word, thank you all so much. There are some lovely comments on Facebook. Let me have a little check on you. Oh my word, I've just seen how many you're watching. Whew, get nervous now. Okay, thank you all so much. There are some lovely comments on YouTube as well. Try my best to keep up with them, but they come in so quick. But thank you everyone. So let me pop that in. Oh, you're getting a little sneak preview. Okay, so we've got the main I Need It All bundle, but you might have noticed the little squares and rectangles that we've got in the background of lots of the cards. I'm going to show you those now because they are available as a separate add-on item. So the reason why we've separated these 4 out from the I Need It All bundle, and they do not come included in that bundle, is because you need an A4 die cutting machine to use them, and not everyone's got an A4 die cutting machine. So we thought we'd separate these out, and if you want to add them into your basket, of course you can do. So let me pop the overhead camera in and we will have a little look. Okay, so these are the brand new 8x8 gilded squares, gilded rectangles, and the sparkling stars and Christmas trees embossing folders. So these are gorgeous. I'm going to start with dies because I know you're all going to get excited over these because I did. So these are the Gilded Squares 8x8 die set. They come on a magnetic storage sheet, which is fab. Size to fit on your 8x8 cards. So the largest one across is 7.8 inches. They then work down, so you've got your little increments to do your mats and layers with these. But these are gorgeous. So what makes these so special is we've put like an extra little line going around the edge. So can you see how you get that debossed line going around the edge of the shape? So it looks really pretty, but next level. You can go in there with your chisel tip glue pen, not chisel tip glue pen, sorry, a quickie glue pen, one of these, or your dry clear PVA with your fine tip. You can glitter it up. Doesn't it look fab? So you can get these little glittery channels on your mats and layers, okay? It looks fab. So this is what this whole gilded collection was about, and this is why it all works so well together, because we've got that gold and the silver theme, but then we've kind of thought about how you're going to use this when you craft with it. So we've got the Gilded Square die set, which is this one here. So you've got the lovely little fancy notches. And again, this is not just for Christmas. You're going to use this one all year round. So this is fab for creating, and you'll have seen it on lots of cards, card samples like this one here. So you can make your own shaped card bases with this. And it just looks fab. So that's your Gilded Square die. So that's the first one that comes in this second bundle. We've then got the Gilded Rectangles, okay, which is beautiful. This, I love this design because you've got that circular shape in the middle, so you can create, you can pop your wreath in the middle of there. It works really well with an oval in the middle as well, so that floral Merry Christmas looks fab in the centre of here. And again, it comes on your 8x8 storage sheet. So the size of the largest one in here is sized to fit kind of around about 6 inches by 8 inches. So it is 5.8 inches by 7.8 inches, this die size for your largest one. And again, it's got that little channel going around the edge so you can do your glittering. So I've got some finished card samples here with these ones. So you can either use it portrait, okay, and your cards will stand up, look, okay, like this. Or you can use it landscape like this. Okay, with that Merry Christmas in the middle. Now, if you're using it landscape, you just need to chop a little bit off the bottom there at the back. And then it'll balance itself and stand up like that. So that one is your Gilded Rectangles metal die set. And that is also on an 8x8 magnetic sheet. Okay, so we've got Gilded Squares, Gilded Rectangles. And then we've got 2 new 8x8 embossing folders. So we've got Sparkling Stars, which again, you're going to use this one for more than just Christmas. You're going to use it all year round, really. So this one, I've done it on matte mirror and white card again to show you. Embosses like this. And again, you can go in with a glue pen. You can glitter up those little stars if you would like to. And then I've done it on white card as well. And I love it on the white. It's so, so elegant and pretty. So that one is your Sparkling Stars, and these are standard 2D embossing folders. Okay, so they are like the standard depth to go through your machine. And then the next design that we've got is the Christmas trees. And this one is your Christmas trees embossing folder. And again, 8x8 in size, so fantastic for filling the front of your project. Here it is on matte mirror. Look at that. Beautiful. And then we've got the white card as well. I love embossing on just white card. I just think it looks so elegant. You're going to see lots of white cards popping up on the page now, I feel, because it does. It just works so, so well. So that one is your Christmas trees 8x8 embossing folder. Okay, that is everything. That is all that we've got that is new. So I'm going to pop the little price in for this bundle. So in this one, you are going to get your Gilded Rectangles die set, your Gilded Squares die set, your Sparkling Stars 8x8 embossing folder, and your Christmas trees 8x8 embossing folder. And you can see how fabulous that is all going to work together and complement the main kit. So you are going to have to ignore the slight typing error on this one because I've spelled dies wrong. So it is D's on the graphic. We did try and update it, but for some reason it's not pulling through. So the RRP on this one, if you bought them all individually, this is really easy. I can tell you the die sets are £26.99 each, that's in pounds, and the embossing folders are £8.99 each. So together, if you bought all 4, that would be £71.96. But bundle price is £57.50. So that is the Gilded Christmas embossing folders and metal dies. Okay, so that is the second little bundle. So let me just have a little look. Let me have a little check in with the comments. There we go. Just let my phone connect. It's not connecting. Oh, my word. There we go. Oh, there's some lovely ones. I'm pleased to hear you are loving those, the nesting dies, because they are fab. I think you're going to use them a lot. I'm going to pop the other camera in because I'm going to take that one off. I'm going to go back to this one. So let me have a little look and check in with you all on Facebook. So let me just grab this up. For some reason, it's just closed the feed down and knocked the comments off, which isn't very helpful, is it? There we go. Okay. Oh. Oh my word, everyone is loving this one. Oh, Joanna's on the hunt for some matte mirror card in navy now. Actually, Joanna, if you've got, I mean, I'm talking about 5 Christmases ago now, but we did a 8x8 matte mirror card pad, and it had the dark blue, might not be quite navy, but it had dark blue, blue, gold, silver and red in. That might work nicely. And the Stardust glitters as well from, was it last year, Stardust, or the year before? They work beautifully in those gilded squares as well. Okay, thank you everyone for all of your comments. I feel like we've done enough talking now. I'm going to crack on and demo some new goodies for you. I've got 3 demos planned, so hopefully we'll get those in. Oh, thank you everyone for the comments on YouTube as well. I can see Tracy saying the whole collection looks timeless. I love this sort of collection. We do try and do that with Christmas, and honestly it gets harder and harder each year, and I get more stressed and more stressed each year, quite honestly. Trying to think of new ways that we can do things. But I think the 3D embossing folders this year have put a new spin on things, and it gives you a different way to use like your glitters and all such like. And I think these gilded squares and gilded rectangles dies, oh, you're going to love them. So thank you for your comments. And again, using the vellum as well with the flowers, because it worked so well previously and you all loved it, we thought that would be fab to bring back for Christmas. And it's something different in the way that you can make your flowers, and a different way to use things, I think, which is really nice too. Right, okay, thank you everyone for your comments. I'm going to keep checking in. I'll keep going back to my phone and having a little look. But for now, we're going to get started and we're going to do a bit of crafting. So talking about those 3D embossing folders and the 3D emboss folders, stamps, die sets and the vellum, I'm going to show you that in action now. So I've got my little basket here. Let me pop the overhead in. Let's get the Gemini out. Now is probably a good point to grab a cup of tea if you want to, and then you can chill and watch the demos. So we're going to start off. I'm going to make this card here. So this is kind of where we're going to be going with this one, okay? Just to give you an idea. So we're going to start off with our base card. So I've trimmed an 8x8 card blank down to about 6 inches by 8 inches. I've then taken a piece of our quartz pearl card and I've trimmed that down so it just fits on the front. Okay, we're then going to use our embossing folder. So we're going to use the sparkling stars and we're going to emboss this pearl card. So you can kind of pick where you want the star designs to be. So we're going to shuffle that in. There we go. And then we'll send that through our die cutting machine. And again, what we'll do, as we've done with every launch, we've got 2 golden tickets to give away. I've got the Facebook winner to announce as well, so I'll announce that after this demo. The Facebook and Instagram competition winner, I've got that to announce. But what I'll do is all the cards that I made today, I'll sign them after we've finished the live, and then we'll randomly pop them in some of the orders. So then you may be lucky and receive a card, you never know. So there we go, that is our embossing done on the card there. And you can see how pretty that then looks. I love this on pearl card, it looks so pretty. So we're going to pop that down onto there. So I'm going to start off by just gluing this in place. Actually, before I glue it, I'm going to use a bit of glass slipper and diamante sparkle glitter, because if you didn't know, they are back in stock. So if you are loving the diamante sparkle and glass slipper glitter, hop over to the website because they are finally back in stock. I know that lots of you have been waiting for these. So we're going to take our chisel tip glue pen and we're going to just drag it along the edge of our card. Okay, and then dunk that into our glitter, like so. And then we're going to position that down, move that out the way, move that scrap paper. So we're going to grab this and stick it down onto our base card. So completely up to you what you use. You can use your PVA glue. I know some people like Koal, but I'll be honest, with the lights we've got in here, we're finding the smell kind of is a little bit too much with the heat. So We're using PVA glue for our mats and layers, but if you would like to use your double-sided tape or your tape runners, of course you can do as well. So we're going to stick that down onto here. Okay, and then we're going to I've taken a piece of that lovely foiled distressed paper, and we're going to stick that over the top. So I know you're only seeing a tiny bit of that embossing, but it is there, and I like it, so it's staying. So we're going to take the backs off of these foam pads. Okay, and then we're going to stick this one down. Just have a little time check as well. Oh my word, it is 10 to 3. That has gone fast, hasn't it? So we're going to stick that down there, and then we're going to pop that to one side. So next up, I've got another piece of that lovely quartz pearl card, and I've cut it down to about 5 by 7 inches, so that's going to fit onto the front of my card. So we're going to go in and emboss this now. So this is a 3D embossing folder. So we're going to use, so the standard plate combination with your Gemini is your base plate and your plastic shim, okay? But I found mine's lost a little bit of pressure over time, so I add in my magnetic shim too. I don't know what's got stuck to my magnetic shim here, but it's definitely got something stuck to it. But anyway, right, we'll get this sent through. So we'll then send that through our machine, like so. Okay. And then we'll just grab that at the other side when that's done. And when we lift that out, look, we've got that beautiful embossed image. Really, really pretty. Do you know what as well? My birthday's in December, and for winter birthdays, this would be a really nice card actually, because it's Christmassy, but not overly Christmassy, if that makes sense. So that's another use for this one too. So what we're going to do now is start and of course bling this up a little bit. So I've got some champagne shimmer glitter, which we have used a lot with this collection actually, because it's like a neutral kind of goldy silver glitter, really pretty. And I'm going to use a bit of glass slipper as well and a bit of diamanty sparkle. So we're going to go in with our Art Glitter Dries clear glue, and basically all you want to do is just trace the design. So I'm just going to do like a small section just to show you, because I've got one that I've already done. But basically you want to hold your glue like you would kind of hold a pen, and just go in and just trace around the embossing. Now again, it's easier for you doing this at home because you can kind of get right over the image, but I'm trying to keep this in shot so that you can see what I'm doing at home. You can go in and just trace the design like this. Okay. And then we'll take a little bit of scrap paper and we're going to just cover that holly leaf with that lovely champagne shimmer glitter, and you can see how that then looks. Like I say, I've got one that I've done, so I'm going to just I'll do this holly section, and then I'll do a little bit in the diamanty sparkle as well, not glass slipper. Oh, got all the glitter names going on today. So then we're going to take our PVA glue, and I'm just going to carefully trace over this swirl. And I have to say as well, because I know people always ask, this video will stay up after today's Facebook Live. So I think it stays on Facebook for 30 days now, but it'll stay on our YouTube channel forever. So you can keep going back and watch this video. It's always nice, I think, when you get the goodies home. If you want a little bit of crafting inspiration, if you don't know where to start, you can go and just get some ideas and follow along. So it will be staying up on the YouTube channel, and it'll stay up on Facebook for 30 days. Okay, so we're just going to work our way around. Like this. Applying our PVA, and it does look a little bit messy when that PVA is wet, but when it dries down just a little bit flatter. So it means that it does look a little bit neater when it's dry. So then we can take our diamanty sparkle glitter now. This is one that's back in stock. I shouldn't have left that spoon in there, really. It's got glitter all over the handle now, but never mind. There we go. Try and tap a bit off there. There we go. Right, so we can then bling this up as much as we would like to. So what I've done is I've got one that I've finished that's dry so that we can at least stick this together today. So we've got this one here. So again, I've just gone around the edge and edged it with a little bit of that glass slipper with my chisel tip glue pen, and I've just added some little crystals on, and these are just from on Amazon. They do like nail art sets where you can get the little boxes of crystals. That's where these are from, because they're quite tiny, so I thought, oh, perfect size. So that's what I've used on here, so you can see how pretty that looks when it's all glittered up. So let me pop this one to one side, and that can be drying. We'll finish that off later. And then we'll use this one on our project. There we go. And then we'll grab our card blanket and we're going to stick this on the top. Now again, if you wanted to, you could gut the middle out of that foiled paper, ready to use on another project if you wanted to. I personally find it quite hard when I'm demoing, talking, trying to do 3 things at once and stick it on straight. So that's why I just tend to stick the mats and layers down when I'm demoing. So next up, I've taken a piece of the vellum from the vellum pad. So this is like the lovely goldy coloured flower that we're using, and we're going to take our 3D embossing folder and we're going to place this vellum inside. So you want to about line up about the centres. But if I hold that up to the camera, in fact, let's go on. Bear with me because I'll have to move the camera, but let me put it on camera 2. And then if I go on to number 4, there we go, it can zoom in. Can you see how we've got the extra little bit of bleed around the edge of the design now? So if you don't get it quite lined up perfectly, it's quite a forgiving space, which is quite nice. So that makes it a little bit easier too. So we're going to go back on the overhead there now so that you can see what I'm doing. So again, we're going to send this through our Gemini. So I'm going to use my base plate, my metal shim and my plastic shim on the top. Again, please get to know your machine. Just use your base plate and your plastic shim to start with and see how you get on. Okay, so then we're going to lift this out and you will then see we've got that beautiful embossed design. Pop it in on the other camera on that vellum there. See how pretty that then is. So we're now going to take our dies and cut out those flowers. So we've got our metal dies here. And I've got a little bit of, I'm just going to move these card samples. Sorry, I feel like I've not got as much room to work with. It's because this bundle's taking up so much of my desk over here. So we're going to take our dies, pop this over the top, and then I've got my little low tack tape here. So we're just going to tape this down. Like that. Okay, and then we're going to send that through. So we're going to cut those out now. So I'll put my cutting plate on the top and through we go. Just had a panic there. I thought I hadn't taken the folder out, but I have. We're all good. So we'll send that through, grab that at the other side, and then we can push these little flowers through. So I've done that twice. I've got some that I've already got done here, but if I take the dies away, can you see what I mean about the extra bleed? So if you're a little bit off, it doesn't really matter because you've got that little bit of space, which is a bit more forgiving. So let me pop these little dies to one side and I'll grab in the ones that I have already done. Here we go. So what I've then done is taken 2 and just basically stuck them together. So what we're going to do is move that out the way. So you're going to just pinch down the centre of the petals like this. Might just need a little bit of pin flare glue as well for the next bit. So I'm just going to use PVA for sticking this one. And then I'm going to use a little bit of glue gel when I stick these onto the card. So you're going to stick them together like this and then just pop them to one side. And we're going to do a little bit of stamping and embossing on some heat resistant acetate now. So what we're going to do is we will take, I'm hoping this is a piece of heat resistant acetate. It is in the little box, I think it must be. So we're going to take our heat resistant acetate and we're going to take a little anti-static bag, dust like this all over, and we're going to take our ink pad and we're going to take our stamps. So you're going to have to stamp one of each. I'm just going to stamp one just to show you how to do this. So we're going to pop that down onto our acrylic block and we're going to use some Twinkling Lights wow powder. So that's that beautiful gold with the holographic silver in. I love it for Christmas. Literally looks like twinkling lights. So we're going to ink up our stamp. So using our wow clear embossing ink pad, we're going to ink this up. And then we're going to position this down and press. And I know lots of people have been asking about getting started stamping and things. I personally love our thin acrylic blocks. I think they make it so much easier for stamping. They're all sized to fit our stamps because I know some of our stamps are quite a bit larger. But yeah, they're fab for stamping with. So we're going to place that down, press, and then carefully lift that off. Now, because we've got quite a bit of anti-static on there, we want to be careful when we move this that we don't get the anti-static onto that ink. So we're going to take our Twinkling Lights wow powder, sprinkle that all over the top, and then look, anything that we don't use is going to go straight back into the jar. So we're going to just tap away the excess. And you'd be quite rough as well. Don't feel like you have to be really timid because it's acetate. You can kind of, it can withstand it. Okay, so we're going to take this now and heat it up. So let me grab my heat tool. I'm going to just have to angle this a little bit more towards me just so I can see when it's turned. And there we go. So we can see how we've got that flower all nicely embossed now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just cut this out. Now, I personally wouldn't use the die to die cut this out because when you die cut in acetate, you have to cut metal into metal. So you'd have to cut into your metal plate and you stand the risk of cracking off the embossing powder. So for the sake of cutting it out, it's just loads easier. And it's acetate, so you don't have to be too neat. So you can just whiz round with your scissors and trim this out. And again, a little top tip if you're not as keen on cutting out with scissors, is move the paper rather than moving your scissors. Makes it loads easier. So we can just whiz round with our scissors. Like this. And then, can you see on the stamp how you've got like these little dots going down here? So my thinking with that was, you can take your PVA glue, you can take your lovely glitters, so Diamante Sparkle, and you can glitter this. So all I'm doing is just applying little dots of PVA onto the flower, like this. And then we're going to cover this with our Diamante Sparkle glitter. And we'll tap away the excess glitter, and that then gives you this lovely kind of finish in the middle of the flower. So again, I'm going to pop that to one side because I've got one that I've done that's already dry. So I'm going to go and grab my pin flare glue. Hopefully this one comes out of the tube. Don't normally have much luck in here with that. Oh, this one is. I think it gets that hot in this room, honestly. It gets really warm with the lights on. Okay, so we've got a medium, a large and a small flower. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take them, I'm going to just bend the petals and kind of fold them up. So we're giving them that extra little bit of shape and dimension. That's what I mean. You don't have to be too careful. They can withstand it a little bit. And then we're going to pop that in the middle over the top. Okay, and that's when the magic of your embossing folder, your dies and your stamps, it all comes together then. So a little bit of glue gel just on the back. And then we'll stick that down onto there. And then of course, it's not complete, is it, without one of our little sparklers. So I've got my little sparklers to go in the middle as well. So then we'll pop a little bit of glue onto there. Stick that one down. Do the same with the next one. So pull those petals up. Glue on the back. There we go. And then we'll do the smaller one as well. And these look really, really pretty. Okay, so then we're going to stick that down there. And then we're going to add a little blob of glue just onto the back of that flower. And we're going to stick that down. Okay, and then we're going to bring our finished, well, not finished, it's nearly finished. Bring our card back in. Pop a blob of glue in the middle of each of those flowers. Okay, and then we're going to stick these down. There. And at the top there. And then within this set you get, sure it's in this one, let me just double check. Yeah, within the Christmas Rose set, you get this lovely swirly die, which is fab for foliage. So I've die cut a couple of these out and it's really, really pretty and fine. This is the one that was trying to show you at the beginning, but they've got a bit stuck together in my little basket down here. So I've die cut them. There we go. From some gold and silver mirror card. And I thought, oh, I could just tuck a couple in just behind. This is the thing, see, when we do these demos, the cards, it starts off where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna copy that card that we've done for the demo. But then by the end, I'm like, oh, well, I could put this in, or I could do this, or I could do that. So we never end up making the same thing twice, really. There's always a little bit of a change to it. So then we're going to tuck that swirl in there. And then finally, I've die cut a little gilded square. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to take my With Love at Christmas sentiment stamp. And I'm going to stamp that in the top, just onto here and emboss it. So I use my clear embossing ink pad again. Ink up the stamp. Position that down and press. Take that away. And then we'll take our Twinkling Lights wow powder over the top. Tap away any excess. And there we go. And then we'll heat this up. So again, let me just grab my heat tool. Like that, okay? And then, right, little technique time. This is very exciting. So, I'm going to take my Quickie glue pen. It's a brand new one, this. So when you watch my YouTube videos back that I've done with this collection, I've used a Sakura Glaze pen because my Quickie Glue pen hadn't arrived in time while I was filming them. But you can take your glue pen into the little channel like this on the Gilded Squares die. And it just kind of locks in, so then you can just trace around the edge, okay? Then you can take your glitter. So again, because you're using Quickie Glue pen, you want to use a finer glitter. I wouldn't use your chunkier ones with that. I know it looks a little bit blue till it dries, but then, look, you've got that little glittery edge, which is fab, isn't it? So I'm going to pop a little, I'll pop a little foam pad on the back of there. There we go. And that would then be my finished card. So let me just tidy a bit of my mess up that I've got going on here, and then I'll pop that in to the camera for you. So if I turn that round, there we go. And that would be your finished project using the Christmas Rose 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. And you can see how pretty that looks. So that is how that one all comes together. And we've used some of the vellum as well. And for my next demo, I'm going to use the gilded wreath. So let me pop some card samples in so that you can have a little look at some finished cards. Oh, we've got poinsettias, or would we like this one instead? We've got the Christmas tree and the gilded baubles. Should we keep with this one? So we've got some card samples in there, so you can have a little look at those just while I get myself ready for the next demo. Okay then, so let me pop. I'm going to go back to show you the products, okay? So let me just have a little look. Let me figure out which button to press here. So we're going to take those out, hopefully. There we go. You're going to get a little sneak peek at what we're making next. And I'm going to announce our competition winner as well. So let me go back to, let me go back along the counter. Here we go. Okay, so many of you will have known that we did a competition that ran on Facebook and Instagram where you could win the full Gilded Christmas collection. Well, I'm very excited to announce we have got a winner, and the winner is Catherine Page. So Catherine Page, please do drop us a message on either Facebook or Instagram. I think that you won from Facebook, so it'll probably be Facebook that you message on. But drop us a message with your name and your address, and we will get your full Gilded Christmas collection sent out to you in the post. So yes, Catherine Page is the winner of the competition. So please do get in touch with us. I'll go back in after this live as well, and I'll pop a comment on the competition just to say it's closed, and I'll pop the winner's name in there as well. So Catherine Page, if you're watching, you are the lucky winner of this Gilded Christmas collection. So this will all be coming your way, which is very exciting. Okay, so we're going to go back down the counter now, and we are going to go and create this card here. So we are going to be using the lovely Gilded Wreath stamp and die set. This was actually the very first card that I made when this this collection arrived. So let me grab in my bits and pieces for this one. I have got them all set up here. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right ones first. So we're going to do a die cut card blank to start with, and we're going to do that with the Gilded Squares die. So I've got my card blank here, and we're ready to go. Let's pop that to one side, and I'll put the overhead camera in. Okay, so we've got our 8x8 card blank here. So the card blanks that I use are usually the Craft UK ones. So they're just under 8x8 in size. Honestly, card blanks are a nightmare because everyone makes them to different sizes. But I tend to use the Craft UK ones, so that gives you an idea of kind of which ones I'm working with. So we're going to take, that little star doesn't come with the gilded squares. That's just a rogue one that's made it in there. So this is your gilded square metal die set. So we're going to take the largest one and we're going to pop this down onto our card. Just to get ready to die cut our card blank. It's got a little bit of glue on there, so we'll just remove that. Right, so what we're going to do is we've got the fold at the top. So we're going to take the die and overhang it over the edge of the card, if that makes sense. So then when we open it, we'll have a full card. So let me find the end on my low tack tape. So a little bit of tape there. And a little bit of tape there. And we're going to stick that down. And then we're going to grab in our Gemini plates. So to do this one, I'm going to start off with my base plate, my plastic shim and my cutting plate. We'll see how we get on. We might need to pop the metal shim in. Okay, so we're going to send this through the Gemini. There we go. So that's just die cut in now. And we'll grab that at the other side. Lift that out. Let's give it a little wiggle. Oh yeah, it's cut. There we go. Little wiggle. Oh, it's just that end bit there. This is what I'm finding with my machine now, I think, because it has obviously been used a lot. Let's rotate and send it back through. There we go. And because we're cutting through 2 pieces of 300 GSM cards, so you know we do like to challenge these things. There we go. So we'll send that through, and then we'll grab this other side, open this up. Okay, take that little bit extra off, and then we're going to give this a little wiggle, and there we go. We've got our lovely gilded square die cut card blank. So what I've now done is I've taken that same metal die, and I'm going to just talk you through this bit because I want to get another demo in, and I am conscious of how long I've been talking for, so we're going to keep on going with this one. So I've taken another piece of white card and die cut out another one of those gilded squares to the same size, and we're going to stick that on the top. And the reason for that is obviously with overhanging it on the edge you kind of lose that lovely debossed line. So we're going to use this one and stick it over the top, and I've edged it with a little bit of glass slipper glitter. Now this is a variation on the original card that I showed you actually, because I had an idea yesterday when we were prepping this, and I thought, oh, we'll do it similar but different. So that's where we're going with this one. So a little bit of glue on there, and then we'll stick this down like that. Okay, and then next up I've die cut another one of those frames, but I've edged it with a little bit of diamante sparkle glitter. Now let me find my die cut square and I'll show you how to do that. So if you're doing it with your quickie glue pen, dead easy, slot straight in the slot, just trace it round. If you're using your dry as clear glue, you want to make sure that you've got your glue to the tip to start with, so you've not got any bubbles in there. And then just lightly squeeze the bottle and drag towards you like that, and that'll give you that nice straight edge. And then you can just work round. Again, it does kind of give you that guide because you've got that debossed edge. But you can just whiz round like this, and then take your diamante sparkle glitter. So you only really need to use the PVA if you're using a chunkier glitter. There we go. And then you can see how you get that lovely glittery edge on there. Okay, so I've done that on the next layer. Let me move that out of the way so I don't end up putting my fingers in the glue. So I've got foam pads just on the back of here. Just going to peel the backs off of there. I think I'm just going to move my microphone onto my t-shirt, and then I can just take this jacket off because it's getting a little bit warm in here with all the lights on. For all the Christmas crafting, it's certainly summer weather, isn't it? So we'll pop those foam pad backings in the bin, and then we're going to grab in this and just mat that one on the top. And then next up, I've taken that lovely foiled paper and die cut that. I'm going to put that on the top. So see, I did this one all in white, but this one I thought, oh, we'll add a bit of foiling in there. So a little bit of foiled paper. I do like doing just cards all in white card as well. It always absolutely blows my mind that you can take like 4 sheets of plain white card, and with your stamps and your glitters and your embossing powders, you can honestly transform it into something totally different. So position this one down. So for your mats and layers, these gilded squares and rectangles are lovely. And then I've taken the next size down again and just die cut that from some white card, and we're going to emboss that. So we're going to use that Sparkling Stars embossing folder again. So pop that in the middle, just check that's the right way, and send that through the machine. And we'll just grab this at the other side. And there we go, and we've got that lovely embossed background. So that's going to get stuck just flat. So just a little bit of glue on there, and then we'll stick that down. You can see for all you've embossed it, we've still got that little bit of the debossed edge on there as well, which looks fab. So just give that a little shuffle. There we go. So you can see how lovely that's then looking. So we'll pop that to one side, and we're going to start on our wreath now. So I've got some white card, and I've got my lovely wreath stamp already on my acrylic block. So if you have got our acrylic block sets, the gilded wreath stamp fits on the square block, so that'll give you an idea of the size of this stamp. It is a lovely large image. So we're going to take our card. I actually think I've used crystal white on my finished one, but we've got plain white today, so we'll just use that one. So we're going to take a little bit of anti-static to start with and just dust that over our piece of card, and then we're going to take our stamp and our clear embossing ink pad. So we'll just ink up our stamp like this. And then we're going to position that down onto our base card and press. So you want firm, even pressure all over that image. And then we're going to lift that off, and that's when these stamping mats really come in with your nice, your large stamps, because they give you that little bit of cushioning when you're pressing, which really, really helps. So we'll grab some scrap paper in, and we're going to take some metallic silver sparkle embossing powder and pop that over the top. I think I've just missed a bit there with my ink pad. I'm going to restamp that because I've missed a little bit when I've inked it up. Let me do that again. I have to say it is very, very warm in here with the lights on, which probably isn't helping. But we don't want to craft in the dark, do we? Right, we'll grab our stamp back in. Let's re-ink that up. Okay, and then we're going to position this down and press. Onto our base card. Then we'll lift that off, and then we're going to take our embossing powder again. Oh, that's much better. Pop that over the top and tap away any excess. There we go, and then we're going to heat this up. So we're just going to take our heat tool. And we're just working round, following that embossing powder. There we go. You can see what a lovely, lovely image that we've got. So we're now going to take our metal die. So let me grab this. And what I should have pointed out actually and didn't is on the stamp, when you get this home, you've got a little extra notch of polymer here. And you've got the little extra notch on the die here. So that's how you can line it up to cut it out, okay? So I should have marked my paper, but didn't. So we're going to just twist this round until we get it lined up. So tend to look for, have a look. Pop that down there. Tip that down into place like this, okay, and then we're going to take our Gemini and send this through. So I'm going to use my base plate, my metal shim, my plastic shim and my cutting plate on the top, and through we go. And then I have got a wreath that I've already done and glittered, so I'll talk you through this because I want to try and get another demo in. So if we then open this up, you can see we've got our wreath beautifully die cut out. So what I've then done is gone in and on the dots on the wreath, I've added dots of glue and covered it with Diamante Sparkle. And then I've kind of just scribbled on the little pine branches and added some glass slipper glitter onto there too. So we're going to take that now and pop some foam pads just onto the back. Okay. I think we'll need to chop those foam pads in half. Oh, do I double layer it? Do I do a double layer? I think we might. Why not? It's Christmas, eh? So, we'll peel the backs. Off of these. There we go. And then we'll grab some foam pads in. Peel the backs off of those. And there we go. Okay, and then we're going to stick this down straight into the middle of our card blank. So on the original, rather than using the metallic silver sparkle, I actually used mercury glass embossing powder. I thought we'd mix it up. So then I've got a little circle that I've just die cut from our basic circles, nesting die. And we're going to stamp our little Merry and Bright just in the middle of there. So we'll use our clear embossing ink pad. I'm going to position that down into the middle and press. And then we'll lift that away. Dunk that into our embossing powder. And then we're going to heat this up. So we can hold this still. Do you know what we need in here? A wooden peg. Because then for holding things when you're embossing it, it's perfect. But we'll try with the tweezers. Okay, so we've heated that up now, and we'll add a little foam pad onto the back of there, and then we're going to just stick that down into the centre. And then next up, I've got a bow that I've just tied from some silver ribbon, which I'm going to just stick at the bottom like that. And actually that even looks nice just like that, a little bit plainer, but of course we're going to take it a little bit further. So we can add our little jewel in the middle of there. And then on the stamp set you get these little baubles, and you get the dies that you can cut those out with as well. So what I've done is I've already stamped and embossed these in silver, and then I've just glittered them up and added some little jewels onto them as well. So we've got those to add onto our wreath. And then I've also got the lovely bow. We've just stamped and embossed that in the metallic silver and die cut them out, so we can stick some of these on as well. So what I like to do is like lift the loops of the bow and lift the little tails like this. And then you can just take, I like to just use my PVA glue to stick these on. So just tend to stick the middle. So then you can just position that one there maybe. And then position this one just about there. And then that one about there. Okay, and then we can take our little baubles and start to decorate this up now. So I've done some on a double layer of foam pads and some on a single, just to get a little bit of extra depth and dimension in there. Does help when your glue's had time to dry, I have to say. So then we can put maybe one there, and then maybe one more there, and I think that'll be enough. And then to finish it off, all I've done is just gone in and added some extra little jewels just into the background, and that would then be your finished project. So let me move all of my bits and pieces out of the way here, and then you can have a little look and see how we've got two similar but different cards. So I'll pop them in on the other camera. Let me just pop that pin in my glue so it doesn't dry out. So we've got this one, that's the one we've just made. Please, bows don't fall off. So stand it up there. And then we've got this one that was the one that was made earlier. So two very similar but slightly different cards. So you can see how maybe if you've already got the silver embossing powder, you could use that one, or if you've already got mercury glass, you could use that instead. So you can kind of make this so it can really mix and match and work for you. So I've got one final demo to share with you all. So I'm going to grab the bits and pieces in for that. I've got quite a bit of this one pre-prepped, so I think we'll use the pre-prepped bits for this one, just because I am a little bit mindful of time and I want to show you the full collection again. So let me pop the overhead back in and we'll get on with another demo. So for this one, we're going to be using the Gilded Rectangles dies. So we're using this one. This is one of Glynis's projects, and you can see how lovely that looks with the oval in the middle. So I thought we'd do this, but like a variation on a theme. So we're going to start off with your 8x8 card blank. And again, you're going to take your Gilded Rectangle die and just overhang it over the top. And then that's going to create your base card. I have then taken a piece of Crystal White Pearl card, die cut that out and glittered along the edges like I showed you just in the last demo, but because we've used Diamante Sparkle, I've used my Dries Clear PVA. So we can then go in with our glue and stick this one down. Like that. And then next up, I've taken that lovely distressed gold paper and die cut that one from the next layer. And then I've taken that lovely Merry Christmas paper and die cut that one from the next one. And I've glittered that again in Diamante Sparkle. I'm going to put both of those on with some foam pads. So let me grab my little foam pads in. Thank you everyone for watching me as well today. So all of the products will be going up on our website at 6 p.m. this evening. So all of the individual prices will be up on the website from then. There's quite a lot to go through. So if you're looking for individual things and further details on those, please do have a little look on the website at 6 o'clock tonight. Okay, so we'll pop our little foam pads on here. Okay, and then we're going to stick these down together. Okay, so that one's going to get stuck onto there. And then we're going to take this one and stick this one on the top as well. Like this, okay. And then next up, we've used our scalloped and pierced rectangles, which I know lots of you have got. And I've die cut out a scalloped oval and a pierced oval to pop in the middle. So I can either do it with that, or I can do it with, I've got a mirror card one. Oh, I'm going to use the mirror card. That's quite nice. Let's go with the mirror. So we'll pop that in the middle there. So I'm not going to stick my pearl white card one down yet, because we're going to do some stamping onto there. So we're going to pop our foam pads just onto here. Okay. And stick that one down onto there, like so. And I think I'm just going to need some of the mercury glass embossing glitter for this one. So I'm going to grab in my scalloped and pierced oval. I have got Becca in here with me, she's on the comments, but then when I've forgotten to put things in baskets, I can be like, oh, I need this one. Thank you. So I'm going to use Twinkling Lights and mercury glass to do this next part. So we're going to take that Gilded Baubles stamp, which is this one here. I'm going to use the little chains. So I'm going to start off with this one here. And I'm going to take my little anti-static bag to start. I'm going to dust over my card. And I'm going to take my stamp and my clear embossing ink pad. There it is. So we're going to ink this up. And then we're going to stamp this kind of just randomly across the top of the oval. Oh, I might have just smudged that. No, I don't think I have. I think I might have just gotten away with that. So you can kind of build your little beads up like that. I mean, it doesn't look like I've done literally anything there because we're using the clear embossing ink pad, but when I put the embossing powder on, hopefully you will see that I've stamped something. So this can happen, you know, when you've had your low tack tape and you've done your die cutting, sometimes your embossing powder can cling. But if you just take a dry paintbrush before you heat it, it will just brush off. Okay, so we've just covered that with mercury glass, and then we'll heat this one up. There we go. And then we're going to just take this one off the block and take the other one in. Now a little tip with these is, because they are very, very thin, place them down with the plain side facing towards you and then pick them up with your block, and that'll keep them in shape. So give this another little dust over, and then again, clear embossing ink pad, ink that up, and then I'm going to go in with a couple of this design. Looks like it's, I want it to look like it's hanging, not just suspended like that. So a little bit up there. I'll do with that one. And then we can take our Twinkling Lights Wow powder, pop that over the top, grab my paintbrush for my grubby little fingers there. There we go. I'm not too worried either because I'm going to glitter it anyway. We're going to add a little bit of sparkle onto there. So you can see though how you can use these stamps to build your backgrounds up. I have filmed a YouTube with this one as well. I need to sit and edit those and sort them out. There we go. So normally what I would do is I would glitter this up, then stick it on the card. But for today, just to make sure that it's all dry, I'm going to just stick it on the card and then put the glitter on. So we're going to put some foam pads on the back, like this. There we go. And then we'll peel the backs off of these. We'll stick this down. That's going to get stuck down onto our base card, and then we're going to take our dry clear PVA glue and just trace roughly where these little dots are for the chains. Like this. You can just work around, tracing those, and then we're going to take our Diamante Sparkle glitter and sprinkle this over the top. There we go. It's a little bit staticky there, just where it's kind of clung a little bit, so just give that a good tap. You can use a not your own makeup brush, use an old makeup brush to dust off any spare glitter as well. My word, I think my face looks like I've applied it with paintbrushes and glitter some days. Anyway, so what I've then done is I've taken the Gilded Baubles stamps and I've stamped and embossed the baubles. Now I have already glittered these just for time because I did think I was pushing it, trying to get 3 in, but you know there's a lot to show. So I've taken 4 of the bauble designs, I've stamped and embossed 2 in Twinkling Lights and glittered it with Diamante Sparkle, and 2 in Mercury Glass and glittered it with Diamante Sparkle and Glass Slipper Glitter. And then on some of them, like this one here, I've added some little diamantes, and again they're like those tiny little nail diamantes that you can get off Amazon. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pop these to one side because I like to assemble it in a minute. I want to show you how to create this kind of 3-dimensional Christmas wishes first. So what we're going to do is take our Christmas wishes die, and you want to die cut out about 3 or 4 just from some scraps of white card, or if you want to you can cut them from a colour, but I just tend to use my leftover white. So you're going to take your little Christmas wishes die and send that through your machine. And then we can just grab that at the other side. And then we're going to push this out. This is such a lovely die as well. I think you're going to love using this. I think you're going to use it a lot. So we've got Christmas wishes there. Okay. And I've got another 3 that I've already die cut out. Move this white paper out. I feel like I'm getting in a right mess here now. So we've got our ones that we've got die cut here. It's just got a little bit twisted. This is the thing with die cuts, isn't it? Sometimes when you just, I mean, they did just get thrown in the little basket, but they get a little bit pulled together. So we're going to take these, and basically all we're going to do is take some PVA glue. We're going to put the glue onto here, like this. I know some people like to dab it kind of on the hand and things, but I have quite sensitive skin, so I don't really want to do that. So I'm just going to work round, just add a little bit of glue onto here. Okay, but you just do this in the way that works best for you. And then we're going to take that Christmas wishes and stick that on the top. So we're just kind of layering this up, and then we're going to do the same with the next layer. So a little bit of glue on the back, or you can do it on the front of the other one, whichever way is easier for you. It'll get stuck on the top of there. And again, this technique works really well with that floral Merry Christmas die as well. Like, honestly, I feel like I could be on here for a full 24 hours with this collection, showing you different things to do with it. There's so much. So, sorry, you can't see that. I'm terrible for doing this. It's because I can't see this far away. So I'll pull it towards me a bit closer. So you can just line it up like that. And then you can either do 3 or 4, it's up to you. I'll put up a 4th one on because I've got glue all over the shop here. So a little bit of glue on here. Again, this is just PVA. And then stick your next one on the top, like this. And the more you do, the easier it gets to stick them together actually, because it gets a little bit thicker. So the first couple are a bit fiddly, but then after that it definitely gets a lot easier. So you can just stick these down like this, layer them together. So then you're going to leave that to dry and then cover it with your PVA glue and then dunk it in your Diamante Sparkle glitter, and that then gives you this lovely chunky Christmas wishes ready to stick onto your project. So we're going to stick that down first onto here. So again, just a little bit of glue just on the back. Like that, and then stick that down. There we go. Oh, I've not stuck that very straight, have I? There we go. Okay, so then we're going to grab in our baubles and we're going to start and kind of layer this up a little bit now. So you can kind of just position these wherever you would like them really, so you can just have a bit. I did have these laid out when I did the little sample, but I quite like them like that. I think that's quite a nice layout, so we'll go with that. So then we can take some foam pads, and what I quite like to do is, like, on a couple of them, maybe do a double layer of foam pads just to give a little bit more depth. So I think this one will double layer. Just 2 foam pads together, and maybe it's just, that might be the only one actually. I think the others might all be quite nice, just kind of flat. There we go. And then within the set as well, you also get 2 little dies to cut your bows out. So I've die cut those out, and I've got 2 in the Stardust Gold and 1 in the Stardust Silver glitter. So I'm just going to go in and add my little bows onto my baubles. Didn't do one for the star, but that would then be your finished project. So again, 2 similar but different cards. So let me pop this to one side, and then I'll just again tidy all of my mess up that I've got going on over here. So just keep throwing it under the counter. It's going to be an absolute tip under there. Under there at the end of today. There we go. So that would then be your finished project. So you can see how you can do something similar but different. Okay, so let me stand those up and then we can have a little look. Oh, wrong way, that way. There we go. So you can see how you can create similar but different projects too. So I'm going to take you further down the counter now and we'll have a little recap of the full collection. I'm just going to grab a little baby wipe just for my fingers, just because they're all covered in glue now. So let me grab that. And then that will be the Gilded Christmas collection launch done. So I'm going to take my phone with me so that I can have a little read of your comments as we go. So we need to go this way. So follow me, everyone. Here we go to the Gilded Christmas collection. So thank you all so much for joining me. Oh, thank you, Janet. Janet says, Chloe, your demos are stunning. Thank you. Jan says, you've knocked it out of the park again, Chloe. Simply beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for all of the lovely comments. That's on Facebook. Let me have a little check on YouTube as well. Thank you all so much. Leslie's asking, what sort of card did Chloe use for the 3 layers on the Christmas wishes? Just your normal white card. Any scraps work fine. Just you want like maybe 280, 300 GSM. Absolutely fine. Oh, this is a good idea. Claire has commented on YouTube. Top tip here. Saw a great hack. Cut the bristles off a silicone pastry brush and use it as a dotter for glue for intricate die cuts. That's a fab idea. Thank you for sharing that one, Claire. Have to go and get a pastry brush now. So thank you all so much for the comments. Leslie's asking, do you think Chloe is just coming down one size at a time for these gilded squares layers? If that was for the wreath card, yes, it was just 1 layer at a time. So we'd use the 4 biggest dies in the set. Okay, Amy's asking, what colour of pearl card is that? Quartz or opal? So quartz is more like an ivory and opal's more like a cream. So yes, there are lots and lots of comments on both sides. So thank you all so much. Okay then, so this is your Gilded Christmas collection. So as we explained earlier, we've got 2 separate bundles. So we've got the 2 8x8 dies and the 2 8x8 embossing folders on their own. And then we've got all of the other goodies together. So we've got the hanging baubles, we've got the Christmas tree, we've got the Christmas rose, the poinsettia. Oh, I don't know where this camera's going today. Let me move that back. There we go. We've then got the vellum, we've got the gilded baubles, we've got the 2 verse stamps, we've got the floral Merry Christmas, we've got the shooting star, we've got the gilded wreath, we've got the beautiful paper pad, and we've got the 2 brand new glitters as well. So this is your Gilded Christmas collection. Now I'm going to wander back to the counter so that I can pop the graphics in to show you what you are getting in each bundle and the prices as well. Something that I should have mentioned that I forgot to mention earlier was for the I Need It All bundle. I know that we have customers that shop with us from Europe. If you would like the I Need It All bundle, please drop us an email and we can sort that out for you. We just have to do it in 2 separate shipments, but we can still honour the price for Europe for the Gilded Christmas collection. So this is your Gilded Christmas collection, I Need It All. Within here, you are going to get the 8x8 foiled paper pad. You are going to get the Christmas tree 3D embossing folder and metal die set. You are going to get the hanging baubles, 3D embossing folder and metal die set. You are also going to get your Christmas rose, 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set, and your poinsettia, 3D embossing folder, stamp and die set. You are going to get your matching vellum for your poinsettia and your Christmas rose, your little 5x7 vellum pad. You are going to get the 2 A7 verse stamps. You're going to get 2 brand new pots of Sparklicious glitter. You are going to get the floral Merry Christmas die, the gilded wreath stamp and die set, the gilded bauble stamp and die set, and the shooting star stamp and die set. So that is your Gilded Christmas, I Need It All. So if you bought all of those items individually, the price will be £211.86. But the bundle price is £169, and that'll be available from 6 p.m. this evening. All of the items are available individually too. So you can check those out on the website from 6 o'clock tonight. Let me pop the other graphic in for the second bundle, which is for your 8x8 Gilded Christmas embossing folders and metal dies. Don't know why it hasn't updated on my graphic. I have done it. I went in at lunchtime and changed it and it's not updated. So we've got the gilded squares, the gilded rectangles, our sparkling stars 8x8 embossing folder, and the Christmas trees 8x8 embossing folder in this bundle. So if you bought all of those separately, that would be £71.96, but your bundle price is £57.50. And again, that will all be available on our website this evening from 6 p.m. So, thank you all so much for joining me today. That has been an action jam-packed Facebook Live. I need definitely a glass of water now or a cup of tea and a sit down for 5 minutes. So thank you everyone for joining me today. As I've already mentioned, everything will be available on the website from 6 p.m. this evening. So please do have a little look over. You can shop the bundles, you can shop the individual items. We've got some fabulous goodies on there. So please do have a look. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, give our Facebook page a like, and then you will never miss one of our videos because we are posting lots of inspiration. I think I filmed 5 videos yesterday with this collection, so they'll all be going up on YouTube very soon. So please do keep an eye out for those. I really hope that you've enjoyed today's live and that you love the Gilded Christmas collection. I've absolutely loved designing and bringing this one to you all. So yes, hopefully this is your Christmas cards sorted for this year. In true Chloe style as well, with lots of sparkle and bling. So yes, very much looking forward to seeing what you all create with it as well. So please do post your cards in the group. Just a little final reminder for Catherine Page, she was the winner of our Facebook and Instagram competition. Please do drop us a message so that we can arrange to get your prize sent out to you. Thank you again for joining me today and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.